Hey guys, and welcome back to the finale of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. We have bested all the acts, recovered all parts of the Tablet of Order and Chaos, and the only antagonist that lies in wait is the mighty, the menacing Mysterio. Why is he silhouetted? We know who he is!
Turns out it's Sandman in a Mysterio shape.
Yeah.
He's such an indeterminate shape when he's silhouetted that you can't really tell who he is, though.
Isn't this so weird that Mysterio, of all people, is the final boss in a Spider-Man game? That rarely happens.
What's cool here, though, is that we get to play as all the Spider-Men, and it's weird because it goes in costume bio order. Like, if you go into the costume bio section, you get, like, Noir first, then it's Ultimate, then it's 2099, then it's Amazing. But I have, like, a ton of costume trivia for this, so I'm just going to read it out. Noir is wearing the Negative Zone suit. When the Amazing Spider-Man attempted to free some innocent bystanders from a vortex leading to the Negative Zone, a hero named Shock, it's an acronym I guess, SHOC, lent his Dark Force to Peter to help, altering his costume. And as far as Spider-Man Noir is concerned, its dark colours make for an excellent suit in which to sneak around. Its first appearance was in Spider-Man 90 in 1998. What you gotta do for Noir is just basic stealth. I think there's like a few paths you can take to get to Mysterio, but the key element to remember here is don't let him spot you, otherwise that giant bulb of light that he puts up every so often like he's doing now, that'll be thrown into your noggin.
Yeah, I hope you like the Scarecrow levels from Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very much like it. The Negative Zone costume is actually one that I recognize because it was one of the unlockables in the Amazing Spider-Man game as well.
Now see, he saw me here. He doesn't throw it? Huh. A bit of gameplay quirkage, I guess. Alright, now that we're here, we can actually rank the Noir levels. Everything's like split apart into different segments, so we've got plenty of time to rank stuff. Lewis, Noir's levels from best to worst.
I'd say the best one is the third one, the Carnival one. And I think I like the first one a little more than the second one, though.
So, Goblin, Hammerhead, Vulture is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Richie?
I have to say I'm probably the same.
Okay. Helldragon?
Pretty much the same.
Alright, yeah. For me, it gets better and better as it goes along, does Noir. I was surprised how much I liked this particular gameplay style, because I'm not usually one for stealth, but it's so like easy to pick up and play that it's not really a detriment. In fact, it helps.
Oh. Oh, man. Somehow that's just really funny to me. Just smack him in the face, and he's got a shattered glass bowl on his head.
And now we're going to transition to Ultimate Spider-Man. As I mentioned in previous parts, the Mangaverse skin does not have an unlock code that works properly. So I'm just going to flash up its image on screen right now, and I'm going to read the stuff for it. In the Mangaverse dimension, a young Peter Parker boasts an expected assortment of spider powers, serving as a ninja in the Spider Clan. After his sensei, Uncle Ben, was murdered by the evil Ronin Venom, Peter set out on a quest for vengeance. Though his dimension holds no tablet pieces, it is every bit as threatened as all the others, and he stands eager to assist should Ultimate Spider-Man need a breather. Its first appearance was in Spider-Man Legend of the Spider Clan issue 1 in 2002.
Oh yeah, during that really awkward series of Marvel manga-style stuff that they were doing, they had some weird ideas in that.
Oh, a little note that I put here, which is basically an elongated version of what I was saying, was in order to unlock this and the other suits of the third set, which I'll be showing in this video, you need to have completed all of the challenges, like all 180, I think. There's unlock codes for Noir 2099 and Spidey suits, but the Mangaverse one that's out there on certain sites does not work for the 360 version. No idea if it works on other consoles.
Oh, that's lame.
So gameplay-wise, what you gotta do here, and I do apologise, it seems I'll be doing most of the talking for this since it's the finale and there's a lot to cover. When Mysterio sends out like orbs that spawns like enemies and whatnot, you gotta wait for the orbs to glow purple, and you attack them, and that's how you gradually wear this guy down.
I have a surprise for you.
Well, if you announce that you have a surprise, it doesn't really work, does it?
I have an expected treat for you, Spider-Man.
Oh, I've just realised we finally gained a shockwave attack.
Yes, well, we had that for a while. I guess I forgot it. It's more of a stampy stamp move than an outright shockwave move.
Well, no, what I'm referring to is the fact that you blow up the balls and it releases a shockwave, therefore that is technically a shockwave attack.
It's more of an aesthetic, I guess. I'm just quibbling semantics right now. It's fine, it's fine.
Well, it's a shockwave that hits him, so like the wave moves out and hits him, so it's a shockwave attack.
Oh, yeah, ha 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 ha, very funny, Mysterio. What's the joke? Can I join in on it?
Just tell like David K to laugh in a booth for like 20 minutes. That's that whole thing.
I could have sworn you said David Cage there.
No. See, hey, he's got that paranoia trigger he's got there.
Ironically, even though the Ultimate Spider-Man section of this finale has a lot of enemies for you to defeat, the primary antagonist is the stuff that comes out of the orbs. You know, this is just like fodder. It's the Amazing Spider-Man portion where you have to, like, beat up a lot of enemies normally.
Strange. That's kind of a weird... You'd expect it to be the other way around. You really would.
Okay, I think the shockwave does damage surrounding things, so you win this one, Richie.
Way!
I think you can attack these orbs normally, but I just like using the web strike /zip /whatever.
You know, it's a good thing that for every story that they have where somebody gets godlike power, they don't have the godlike intelligence they need in order to properly control it, giving the heroes an ample chance to defeat them. Otherwise, we'd all just be fucked.
Well, you saw what happens when the Guardians of the Galaxy held the Power Stone. Yeah, they were able to hold it for a little bit, but it was slowly destroying them. So I guess you need proper stamina, or proper brains, or, you know, just to be written as some kind of Deus Ex Machina.
Well, you know, sometimes in comics, even the actual godlike beings or gods are written as idiots. Because, like, Apollo tried to attack Superman with sunlight. You can imagine how badly that went for him.
Yeah, sorry, it took me a moment to, like, go back through Spider-Man's kind of, like... Sorry, Superman's powers. It's like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, yeah, powered by the fucking sun.
And Superman is just like, you don't know me very well, do you? And then he punts him to the moon.
Nice. He Saitama'd his ass. Yeah, thanks, Mysterio. It's not like every other supervillain hasn't sung that song before. You're not original.
Yeah, but you know what's really great? He sung that while he was recoiling from taking a shockwave hit. So it's just like really bad timing on the game's part.
I'm committed to this now.
Also, he's got a skull in his glass bowl. I'm not sure how to feel about that.
That's the trade-off for having godlike powers. No face. I'm all-powerful, but undateable.
I actually think it's a conscious decision on his part to make it look like that. Because, you know, master of illusion and all.
Falling again?
Come on, Sora, I thought you were stronger than that.
Shut the fuck up. And you know what? We're going into what is essentially a dive sequence now. So enjoy it, Hell Dragon. You can never escape Kingdom Hearts. This is my least favourite part of the finale, and I did like maybe one or two takes, but this wasn't my best run. I don't really care, to be honest. Let me look up. This is the Iron Spider. Tony Stark first created this technologically advanced costume for Peter Parker shortly before the heroic ages Civil War, but Peter parted with it after changing sides in the conflict. Somewhere along the way, Miguel O'Hara came across an Iron Spider costume of his own, possibly a relic once worn by a team known as the Scarlet Spiders that was trained by Taskmaster as part of the post-Civil War initiative. This costume first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man issue 529 in 2006.
Ah.
That one was actually close.
Seriously, it's a fucking dive sequence.
It is, yes.
He's hitting you with pizzas.
You look like you could use
Of all the things to emphasize out of 2099's gameplay style, why the dive sequence?
Well, I guess they hadn't done it enough. I remember it happening in Scorpion, and it just seemed like it came out of nowhere, like they forgot to put it in the level earlier.
Yeah.
Do not let him get away.
I wasn't going to let him get away, Man and Web.
that one was actually close.
Like, you've clearly had enough, Mysterio. I'm going to let you off with a warning this time. But don't you try and tamper with time and reality again, you little scamp.
So, are we going to rank our 2099 levels?
Ah, we didn't do it for Ultimate as well, but don't worry. Amazing takes so long we can do all of that.
Fair enough.
Punchy punchy. the Iron Spider suit is pretty legit. I do like the red and gold.
It's alright. I'm not a fan of it, really.
I think I have read things of quite a few people wanting the Iron Spider costume to turn up in Civil War.
Well, it might do, you know. Marvel likes to pander from time to time. Okay, the last costume we'll be showing off is the Scarlet Spider. For a time, there were two Amazing Spider-Men. The second, a clone of Peter Parker, who named himself Ben Reilly, taking the first name of his uncle and the surname of Aunt May, assumed the guise of the Scarlet Spider, fighting alongside his brother until Peter decided to take a break from the superheroics. Soon after, Ben assumed the role of Spider-Man himself until his death at the hands of the Green Goblin. First appearance, Web of Spider-Man 118, 1994.
Ben Reilly was actually surprisingly popular and well liked, I think. It's too bad that the Clone War, not the Clone Wars.
Big on the
No,
Clone Wars
we're getting
guys.
back on that Star Wars thing again. No. It's too bad that the Clone Saga was so convoluted as it was, because they had some good ideas, you know, from what I've seen here and there, reading about it and even reading some of the stories directly.
Alright, let's rank stuff now, because this will be going on for a while. What you gotta do is just beat up enemies until you're prompted to throw a rock at Mysterio's head, and when he's almost dead you can swing on over to him, and that's about it. Ultimate Spider-Man, Helldragon, best to worst, mate.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. We had Carnage, we had Deadpool, and we had... who was the...
Electro, yeah.
I'd have to say, they're actually really close. Just because I think all the villains are kind of neat in their own way. I'd have to say Deadpool gets on top. Carnage gets a slight edge, and then Electro not too long after that. Like, they're actually really close together for me.
What about you, Lewis?
Deadpool, Electro, Carnage.
Okay, Richie?
I think I'm probably Deadpool, Carnage, Electro, but it's the same. It's so close together. I mean, overall, I'd put pretty much all of the Ultimate levels above pretty much every single other Spider-Man's levels. So...
I definitely agree Deadpool deserves the top spot. Carnage is a really fun level, but it seems a little bit too simplistic, and he doesn't have any personality, so in this regard, even though I really enjoyed the Carnage level, I'll give it to Electro for second place. So, Deadpool, Electro, Carnage. What about 2099, Lewis?
We actually listed this off before, didn't we? At the end of last month?
Should we say for all of us, Dark Arc, Hobgoblin, Scorpion?
Yeah, that's kind of how it felt for me.
Yeah. Definitely.
I am pretty much exactly the same, and I like how there is pretty much a consensus for all of the Spider-Man, bar pretty much Ultimate, where there's just a minor quibble over whether the Carnage level or the Electro level is better.
Yeah, so I guess all that's left to rank is amazing, and for me, I think Juggernaut may be the best one. I just love the whole construction yard thing and, you know, making your way up a building to fight the guy. And the boss fight may be a little bit basic, but it is fun all the same. So I would say Juggernaut, Kraven, Sandman. I'm not a fan of the Sandman level that much, honestly.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Juggernaut has a really cool level. Kraven is just meh, you know, from what I've seen. Sandman just looked boring, in particular, and Sandman himself wasn't really that entertaining, so that's my order, too.
And exactly the same over here as well.
Yeah, in particular, I thought Sandman was kind of a clumsy level, too, so I don't particularly like that one.
Alright, now for the main one, the gameplay styles. For me, I'm going to give first place a tie. And that tie is Ultimate and Noir. Both gameplay styles were really fun. The stealth was implemented much better than it had any right to be. Ultimate levels are just fun from start to finish. Even the one I put in last place is, you know, easily 10 times above stuff like the Scorpion level. And in second place, I'd say Amazing. The only problem is his levels can be a bit bland and grindy. And in last place, in third place, you've got 2099, whose only level I really enjoyed, like, properly, was Dark Arc. Hobgoblin was okay, mostly due to Steve Blum's hammy voice acting. Otherwise, meh. What about you, Helldragon?
I pretty much have to say the same. And well, I noticed here that a lot of the levels are really kind of judged by the strength of their villains, which is good. You know, a superhero needs good villains to oppose him. But from what I'm seeing, you know, Ultimate looks more fun. Noir Combat actually looks really kind of fun, I have to admit, because it's more gritty in a way. Amazing looks okay, and, you know, 2099 looks a bit too mash. You have to mash way too much to get anything done, and it takes generally forever, so that's just what I'm thinking.
Now, Lewis, you, besides me, are the only one who's actually played the game here, so how do you feel, gameplay-wise?
I found Noir's style the most interesting of the bunch, and but apart from that, I don't really have a preference between Spider-Men. I like all four of them, and I didn't find myself gravitating toward a particular character so much as particular villains when I was playing the game, so...
Okay. What about you, Richard?
I would say Ultimate seems to be the best anyway, because pretty much all the levels are, I would say, the most fun in the game, and gameplay-wise it's the one that I think works the best. Then it would be Noir, very close behind, obviously. And then quite a ways below you'd have Amazing, and then even further below that would be 2099.
Like, if I didn't like Ultimate and Noir roughly about the same, that would probably be my order as well, like Ultimate, Noir, Amazing, 2099. But, there's, like, a good half of a game here in terms of playable characters. The others are just kind of average, like, solidly implemented, but just average. And, 2099 is just it's too much, really. There's just far too many enemies.
Much like on screen right now.
Seriously, so I guess we should use this time to wrap up. Lewis, since you're the person who has, again, played the game, Shattered Dimensions.
It's pretty good. It's not a fantastic must-buy game, like not nearly Arkham Asylum tier or anything like that. But you know, if you happen to find the game in like a bargain bin or used at your local GameStop or similar establishment, then sure, pick it up. Just go for it. Just don't go for the sequel. The sequel is.
We've talked about the sequel. Helldragon, you've just been sitting here watching, so obviously you can't comment from a gameplay perspective, but how do you think the game was written? How do you think the levels played out and so on?
I think the game was written, pretty okay. Some of the villains and interactions were more inspired than the others, I think. Levels, again, it can be a little mixed. Some of them were kind of blah, stuff. Mostly Sandman, which I think is probably one of the more boring levels to look and, watch through in the game. And then some of them were really cool, like the carnival stuff. The Deadpool area in particular, Juggernaut levels was really good. So it really is kind of a mixed bag. And I would say, if I were to go for this kind of thing, I would definitely try to get it used. But I can see why people really enjoyed this game and why there was a lot of hope at the time for more Spider-Man games like this. So it's too bad it never really happened, but at the same time, it's good to have this kind of experience.
Yeah, what about you, Richard?
I'd say it seems like a really enjoyable game, and there's a lot of really good and clever ideas from kind of the plot, which is surprisingly well constructed considering it's dealing with multiverses and comic books and Spider-Man, but it's pretty well done. And gameplay-wise, there is a lot to love about the game, so I would say it sits in that awkward boundary between a 7 out of 10 game and an 8 out of 10 game, and I don't know quite where I would put it until I'd actually physically played it. But it's that sort of, it could be great enough to sit as a kind of great game, but it's also got too many problems to be there, so it'd be more classified as good.
Yeah, like a 7.5 to 8 tops kind of game. For me, I really do like Shatty Dims. At its worst, it's a grindy, kind of janky sort of game. Like, you've seen all the bugs and whatnot that have been present throughout the game. They're not super common, but I didn't really have to try to get those to appear either. But the good stuff sells it. It really does. And it's just a fun game at the end of the day. If you're hankering for a bit of Spider-Man action, definitely pick it up if you can find it cheap. Just don't expect it to be like an open world sort of game. Apart from like Deadpool, which is a very open level, and that one bit in Juggernauts level where you save the construction workers. Not too many really big open areas to swing around. But for this kind of Spider-Man sort of game, it's really fun.
Hey, I'm from the future. To me, all you guys are ancient history.
Goodbye, base 90s Spider-Man.
You should hang around longer. We could start a bridge club or something.
Well, I guess this brings us to the end of the Shatty Dims playthrough. One last bit of voice acting trivia. Look out for a character appearing after the credits, voiced by Chris Edgerly, who played Spider-Man in The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, which is a motion-based 3D dark ride located at the Islands of Adventure, Orlando, and Universal Studios Japan Osaka theme parks. But we're really out of time now, so I just want to thank you, Lewis, for joining us for this. I had a really good time, and I think you added a lot to this, mate. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I had a good time too.
I'll get back to you about that Arkham thing. You know, our schedules are changing. It may not happen, it may happen, but I'll keep you posted, so to speak. So, in terms of playthroughs coming up, I guess you'll have to wait and find out. We have a few surprises waiting for you guys, and I am in no way trying to fill up time before the credits kick in, but I guess I can start winding stuff down now. So thank you, Helldragon, thank you, Richie, thank you, Lewis, and thank you, Tom. Thank you, me, for just being the greatest Ultimate Spider-Man that ever lived, and we'll see you next time for another HellfireComms playthrough. Bye for now.
See you then.
See ya.
What'd I miss?
What the?
Nuff said, kids. Nuff said.